Hi everyone, Leticia here. Hope your week is going amazing. My friends, have you ever wanted to invest in real estate, but you figured, yeah, well, I'd love to, but I don't have enough money for that. That's too much money for me. Well, I want to tell you today, my friends, about a very innovative solution that a Mexican company has come up with. And this is something that both Canadian, American, and other international investors can participate in. I'm being joined today by Miss Tania Contreras. Tania is
Right.
the director of sales for Rotamundos. And in case you're wondering about my background, my friends, I am currently in Istanbul. I had a stopover on my way back to Cancun after visiting my homeland of Romania. That behind me is the Mara Mora Sea. I didn't even know about it, but I looked on the map. And it's a beautiful place. I'm staying in like historic Sultana Ahmed, it's called, this neighborhood. Very, very picturesque. Okay, Tanya, ready?
I'm very glad to
Yes.
be
And
here with you guys. Thank you, Leticia, for the.
my pleasure. My pleasure. I was very fascinated when I learned about what you guys offer. And I'm gonna let you, Tanya, because you're the expert. I'm gonna let you speak a little bit about what you guys are about and how you help people be able to invest even if they don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars to invest.
Of course, Leticia.
Yeah.
Well, we in Rotamundos have a dream to make things possible. And although it seem impossible, living out of your rents is really easy through our business model. So in a world where real estate investment is reserved for big capitals, as Leticia mentioned, we are looking for a solution where everyone can fit in. So we designed, yeah, just for you this option that is fractional ownership, that we like to explain this as a tool that allows you to be a global real estate investor and with less than you can imagine. and and why should you buy a fractional ownership? Because it's a way to invest in high value real estate with a small proportion of the investment. You own this fraction of a whole property, and by owning it you get the economic and patrimonial benefits out of it, which means that you can inherit it or donate or sell it whenever you wish to. And also you access to the benefits, not only of the rents or the cash flow that you get monthly or quarterly, but you benefit also from the capital gain of the whole property.
And Tanya,
We,
I'm actually curious about that. But please keep going, and then I'm gonna have some questions for you. Go ahead,
of
please.
course, you tell me and I can stop and we can clear those questions. uh, what do we offer to our customers? The benefit to be part of Rotamundos is that we select profitable properties and we operate them and maintain them in optimal conditions so that the value just increases through time. We also manage the relationship with tenants and guests, and you only have to worry about receiving the rents and the cash flow in your bank account. Also, you are protecting your capital and making your assets grow with any worries. How do we make this possible? We have three main pillars, which is experience, our business intelligence, and also the simplicity and technology that allows you to access this product in a very friendly way and in a very simple way. We have a presence in more than 500 properties in more than 10 countries, and we have won awards by the United Nations, the United Nations World Tourism Organization, and also by Oracle for being the fastest growing startup with an innovative model which started in the touristic market with our Octopus 24 system, which is a property management system that allows hotels that have not had the opportunity before to be exposed to a lot of potential customers because they didn't have the technology to communicate or to make a reservation system. And with this expertise, we gain the knowledge, the data that allows us to select the best properties and the most profitable properties in this vacation market. So now we want to bring you a part of these, and then we want you to invest in these fractions so you can profit out of this rental market.
Right.
We okay.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. I just want to, I guess, clarify. So essentially, Rotamundos, and I spoke to Tania, I was speaking privately with her. She explained Rotamundos started off essentially offering this property management software to, boutique properties in many different markets from Latin America, primarily in Latin America, correct, Tania?
Exactly. Colombia,
Different
Ecuador,
countries.
Peru,
Okay.
Mexico, and
Okay.
we even have presence in the UK.
Okay, wonderful. So it's a property management software. It allows, boutique properties to access platforms like Airbnb, manage their reservations. And in doing so, you guys also get market intelligence because you see which areas are doing really well in terms of vacational rentals, correct?
That is
It
correct.
allows you, okay, okay. So from that, you now, and because, and you're a very fast growing company, you have received multiple awards um, for your innovative platform that essentially opens up, it contributes a lot to tourism because it allows these smaller players that previously maybe they didn't have the knowledge or the wherewithal to be able to participate in this global tourism market. Now they can more do so, correct?
That is right, and that experience and that presence in so many countries and properties gave us the ability to acquire only AAA properties, which mean that they are located in dynamic markets with sustained growth in prices and high demand for rentals. We make sure that these prices are not overheated, and we also have an evaluation on the area that these properties are located. We have to evaluate the growth expectations in the area, political infrastructure. Everything has to come to an end that it's a sustainable, profitable property. And in relation to
Okay.
other traditional real estate investment, we are the best option.
Well, will I'm sure you'll explain more about that. What I think is very interesting. So most people, when people think of fractional real estate, fractional ownership of real estate, that term often comes up when it comes to timeshare type ownership. That's how usually people would have heard of it. And in timeshare, you get to use 1 week out of the year of a particular property, maybe 2 weeks, depending on how large your investment is, and you're kind of limited to that. You have really, you can only use that 1 week, or you can rent or sell that 1 week. That is not what we're talking about here. And maybe in the next slides you explain a little more, how your model actually works, because here we're talking about actual ownership of a fraction of a property, of a larger property, correct, Tanya?
Correct. Many people are confused about this timeshare, but we are not a timeshare because we are offering a fraction of the property, and you are owner of that fraction, but an owner of a vehicle for investment, for having cash flow, for having the benefit of the capital gain, and you can use that property, but you have to pay the rental, because everyone is participating on a partnership. Let's
Sure.
say it like that, and everyone is benefit out of the rental of those units or that property as a whole. So you, if you wish to use it, you can, but you have to pay the rent. This is for having a cash flow and also protecting your capital through time. And let me say you, Leticia,
Yeah.
that we also believe in these Rotamundos community that are traveling all around the world and do not have time to make bureaucratic paperwork or like being in one place. So we have an app and also a website that it's designed to fulfill uh, all the needs regarding the consultation of the information regarding the fractions. So from the comfort of your mobile, you can actually access to your income, the acquired fractional ownerships, the financial balances of the property, the legal documentation, and also by attaching or having a fractional ownership, you are part of a community and you have access to hot deals and notification, which means that whenever we have a new property, the members of our community will be the first ones to notice about these hot deals. And also you can sell your fraction whenever you want, and this app has a marketplace that you can sell your fractional ownership to other community members, and this will be visible on the hot deals site.
Okay. So Tanya, I do have a few questions that I was thinking of. Speaking of the sale, so I'm just thinking, I guess
Mhm.
I know you could talk to about, so I'm thinking maybe I should ask the questions, or should we look at some of the properties you have available? Maybe we should do that first. Maybe you could show us some of the properties you currently have available as an option,
Okay. uh,
and then we can get into some questions.
Okay, let me have you a brief introduction on the properties we acquired. Now we have two markets, one in the United States. This is a duplex that is for long-term rental, and you have
Okay.
through our long-term rental, you have a fixed rent throughout the year, which is the rent contract. The tenants are under lease agreement, and you have immediate rental income once you invest in that fraction. These properties are rent and insured. It has a stable and moderate capital appreciation and returns. And the legal vehicle would be a limited liability company. On the other side, we have short term rental in Mexico. Now we have two properties in Mexico City with a variable rental attached to tourist seasonality. This is for vacation guests, and these properties are mainly located in emerging tourist destinations. Which has a strong and very competitive capital appreciation with high returns, and these properties are marketed through platforms as Airbnb, Booking, Expedia, so we can get the best out of the demand in the market. Let me show
Okay.
you one of
Let's have a look.
our properties in Colonia Nápoles in Mexico City, which we call
I
Indiana
know.
54.
Indiana is the name of the street, by the way, guys. Don't get confused. It's this property is located in Mexico City. Okay. The Colonia
Exactly.
Nápoles, you maybe can tell us more about it, Tania, because you're more familiar with Mexico City.
Of course.
Okay.
This is a quick preview of how much is the fractional ownership and how much you get from that investment. With in There's a combination between an annual return out of rents, which will be 9%, and an annual appreciation of capital gain of 8%, which has a combined return of 17%. Well, the main
Okay.
characteristics of these apartments,
Those
there are
are,
three.
sorry, Tanya, I was just saying those are approximates, or what do you expect that clients are going to get for this investment? It's not like we can guarantee the 9% ROI on the rental, but based on what you guys are seeing in that neighborhood, you're saying that net of costs, your clients can expect, what we call cash on cash return, 9%, and then you're going to have the capital appreciation as well. Correct?
Correct. We make out of the data analyses that we have and the access to information that we analyze in our company structure with our property finders. We analyze the market and make a like a forecast of the possible rents that you can get with the characteristics of the property. This property it will be ready on November 2023, and operations will start immediately, and investors can expect to have these rents by the beginning of 2024. It will start like in a low occupation, but it will exponentially grow until we have full occupation of the property.
Okay. And is this, if I may ask, Tanya, is this a brand new property, or is this a property that you guys are in the process of renovating, bringing up to speed so that it is desirable as a short-term rental?
This is one of our value offers. We are making the best out of these properties that they are under construction and remodeling, and we have this culture boutique concept,
Remodel.
which enables the guest to have a full experience through five senses, like sight, taste, your nose, your hearing, and everything about one concept. Let me show you one of our properties, which is located
Mm-hmm.
in Colonia Roma. Chihuahua 6
Mm-hmm.
will be the concept of this property is based on the Raramuri community or culture. Raramuri, it's an indigenous community in Mexico, which is known for traveling by foot all over the place and gathering. They are known as the people of, I don't know how to say it in English, the pies alados, because they have these strong feet that go all over the place to gather, to work, to go through places. People from this community even have participated in marathons or races, and they are so strong that without having like a professional formation, they can
Yes, 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 yes.
they can win.
There was a
So
documentary made about a young woman, young girl from one of these communities that actually won like multiple marathons, and there's a Netflix documentary about her. So I know the community you're referring to. So they were kind of the inspiration behind this concept, and I believe they do they hail from like northern Mexico, or I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if they're what part of Mexico they usually
yeah, in the
reside.
north part of
I
Mexico.
believe
So
this young
in
woman was like on the
Chihuahua.
mountains of Mexico.
Yeah, and why do we
That's
inspire
why the
in
property is called Chihuahua. Okay, that makes sense.
yeah, exactly. We inspire in the all the area. So everything has like a planning
Meaning.
before, like having the
Hmm.
concept.
Hmm.
This is part of the
I understand.
experience of the essence of the Rotamundos community. So we
And
we
and by
have
the way, Yeah,
Yeah,
I meant to say, Tanya, because I asked you before what Rotamundos meant, or where does the name come from. Mundo in Spanish means world, and rota is like rotating or going around the world, you know. So that's the concept here. And Tanya explained to me that the company was inspired by this increasing trend of people living this global lifestyle, going around the world, and and so that's where the name comes from, around the world. Hmm. Continue. Go
exactly.
ahead,
And we are
Tanya. Sorry.
inspired. We are inspired like from people like you, Leticia, that can stream from Istanbul, that lives in Cancun, but was born in a different country, and we are looking for that
Playa del Carmen.
community to gather them all and be part owners of part of the world, but with some sense, with some purpose, like Chihuahua, which is concept is around the culture in Chihuahua, which is in the north of Mexico. So
Okay.
let me show you this
Do you have
property.
a few more renders? Okay.
Here you can have an annual return a little higher than in Indiana, because the Colonia Roma in Mexico City is a hot spot for international people that are now establishing in spots in Mexico like Colonia Roma, and they are with a higher income, making the location boost, and also the prices boost. And we want our investors to make profit out of this, to have also the opportunity of the access to benefit from the market trends. We have an annual
Okay.
appreciation. Here we have like a moderate scenario of 10%, uh, believing this invest will be from a medium to a long term. So, but if you like look in the news, you can see that Colonia Roma even had a capital appreciation last year of 23%.
Wow. I know, you know, I live in Playa del Carmen, and I've been living there for almost 3 years now, but I know that Colonia Roma in Mexico City is one of the most popular destinations for the digital nomads. And it's a very pretty neighborhood in Mexico City. In Mexico City, there are enough videos you guys can watch on YouTube about people that are, you know, hailing the praises of Mexico City. Um, it's, you know, increasingly becoming an international city, and there are very pretty neighborhoods, and definitely increasingly a destination for digital nomads to spend some time in. So these buildings are designed with, you know, the digital nomads and also business travelers in mind. Correct, Tanya? Because
That's
there's
right.
also a
And
lot of business travelers coming to
travelers
Mexico City.
business travelers are these group of people that are very interesting to us, because they usually go to these locations as guests, for but not for a short vacation, but maybe for 1 or 2 months. So we can like manage the vacational seasonality through these kind of guests better, because that way our investors will have this cash flow in a more stable delivery.
Hmm. Tanya, I just, in the interest of time, I want to just say, so for example, 500,000 pesos right now in dollars. I don't know if you have your app there, but what does that come to in US dollars? I know there's been obviously some movement in the value of the dollar. Do you know what that comes to in dollars right now?
Right now in dollars, we have like $1 now is approximately 18.5 pesos, so it's
Okay,
about
so it's recovered
twenty
a bit. So
seven thousand dollars.
okay, and I know so. in was it in the US opportunity where the entry price point can be as low as 400,000 pesos? Or in
Sorry,
which of your
Lily.
properties? In which of your
In
properties the entry price point is
in Chihuahua
four?
and Indiana, in Colonia La Roma
Oh,
and in
because
Colonia Nápoles.
no, I know, but it seems that on the screen it said 500,000 pesos was the value of each fraction. Do you
Yeah,
still
the value
have
of it.
any properties where they can start?
Sorry, it's because you
Do you
have
still
like
have
a delay.
any? I know. Do you still have any property where the entry price, the fraction can be as low as 400,000 pesos?
Yeah, we have this property in the United States. Let me show.
Okay, sure. Let's go to that one.
Sorry. This is Casa Lauren. It's in Cleveland, Ohio, and the fraction now ownership is $20,913, and here
Okay,
is
Cleveland.
the total return will be about 12.78% annually.
Got it. So for the, for example, for the IC, so and are you paying monthly cash flow on all the properties, or how do you pay the cash flow? Is it every month? Is it every quarter?
I'm glad you asked that question because we have it a lot. In Mexico, you get your cash flow in a monthly basis. And in the United States, we gather all the rents and we deliver them to our customers on a quarterly basis.
Okay, okay. And is that because of administrative costs and things like that, or any
This is
particular
because
reason
we
for
want
that?
to maximize the cash flow and the rentals and have a savings on commissions for international wires. So we figure that
Sure.
the business model best suited for our customers will be in this quarterly basis for the United States property.
Makes sense. And one thing that I know you mentioned is that for the US property, American clients actually they are not able to invest in the US property, but they're able to invest in the Mexico City properties. And Canadians can invest in either or. Canadians, now, are you guys, is this investment open to international citizens, or do they have to be Canadians, Americans, or Mexicans? Can they be from another country?
They can be from anywhere, any part of the world. So there's a little process that we have to run here in Mexico through our Foreign Affairs Office, Secretaría de
Okay.
Relaciones Exteriores,
Okay.
and each nation has a particular process. So we manage that, we absorb that paperwork, and we only deliver the solution to our international customer.
That sounds great, Tanya. That brings me to my next question. Let's say somebody wanted to participate in this opportunity, whether in one of the Mexico City properties or perhaps in the US property. Are there any initial setup costs to start participating?
Yes. Well, for the trust fund or fideicomiso in Mexico, you have some
Hmm.
structural costs
Hmm.
that are
Hmm.
11% out of your investment. Let's say you want one fraction of $500,000, the pesos, 500,000 pesos. So your costs would be 55,000 pesos, the 11% out of your investment.
I see. So only the net amount basically goes towards the actual fraction, or do you have to pay? You pay the 500 and then you pay the 55,000 on top of the 500.
You pay
I just want to
the
clarify.
the whole sum, five 555,000 pesos at the
I
time
see.
you sign
Yeah.
the
Okay, so you paid the additional.
yeah, the contract, the attachment contract, which is called in Spanish
Okay.
convenio de adhesión. You have
Okay.
to sign through
Addition of
this
agreement
operation is held by a banking
of trust.
institution in Mexico, which is called Intercam. This it's a very safety way to let our customers know that their money is protected by a bank.
Well, it's the same structure that foreign buyers would have to use. For example, if they wanted to buy somewhere in the so-called restricted zone of Mexico, my clients know that if you're buying in Playa del Carmen, Tulum, you as a foreign buyer, you have to set up the fideicomiso. In this case, even if they're Mexican nationals, they still have to go through this fideicomiso structure because we're talking about aggregating the investment of multiple investors. And in Mexico, that is the vehicle of choice for setting up this sort of investment. Then I've seen it used by like other similar institutions as well. But well, I was really I was very interested in what you guys have to offer because especially the Mexico City properties. Well, I think both options are interesting. Um, yeah, and what are the setup costs in the U.S. if I may ask, to
In
set
the
up the
US,
LLC?
for the constitution of the LLC, you have to pay $1,250,
Hmm.
and this is one-time investment because you have your LLC, which you can use to buy other fractions in other future properties that we can offer, or
Future
even
properties that
if
you may offer in the U.S. Okay,
exactly.
interesting.
And even if you want to make like an
Okay.
independent investment on some real estate in other part of the US, you can use that LLC.
Okay. Right. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. That's something that you want to check with your accountant. Sometimes people like to keep different investments in different. Got it. Okay. Payment alternative. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the payment plans that you offer. Let's say somebody says, well, yes, 25,000 or $23,000 is better than having to come up with 100,000. Um, but tell us a little bit about how further you can help your clients.
Yeah, we have these payment alternatives, which will be explained like this. Finished properties as Casa Lauren in Cleveland, you can have it cash payment with a rental income that will be received immediately from the day you are
Mhm.
attached to the partnership, and you can also access to a payment in 6 months, and the proportional rental income will be received based on the accumulated payment that you are. And also we have, for those that can't pay in a short term, a payment in 24 months. And in this scheme, the rental income will be received upon the payment completion. On the other hand, we have the pre-constructed
Okay.
properties as Indiana 54 and Chihuahua 6 in Mexico City, which
Hmm.
our customers deliver a down payment of 30% out of the total investment. And then we have subsequent payments until the delivery of the construction, and the rental income will be received upon the completion of the construction and beginning of operations.
That makes sense. That makes sense. And I would imagine the closing costs would also be upon the completion. So the 55,000, for example, pesos, that would be when the property is ready. And yeah, correct.
Exactly. You are how do you say, when you finish the payment, liquidando el pago, liquidating, I don't know, But
Yeah,
the payment
yeah, yeah.
completion,
Once you've
it's
done,
at the end of the
yeah, okay,
delivery.
okay, makes sense. Now, remind me again for the Chihuahua property, no, for the Indiana property, you guys were expecting that property to be ready by November, and and then by November and start operating beginning of 2024. What about the Chihuahua property?
Chihuahua will be
Sorry,
also
my son.
delivered on
Go ahead.
November 2023. Both.
Okay,
Both
okay,
of them will be
wonderful,
delivered by
wonderful. Okay.
November 20.
Again, in the interest of time, I just want to get to a couple of. Sounds great. Sounds great. I guess my other question is, you mentioned that owners of the fractions have the option of selling them. Now, can they just sell it to a friend, or does it have to be another owner, or how would that work?
They can sell it to anyone they want. They just the final customer on the secondary market uh, would have to complete the same characteristics as the first buyer through this process that is run through banks, that is the know your customer process. In it's in line with all these anti-money laundry initiative and
Laundering
laws.
regulations, which
So
Mexico
yeah,
also.
that is the only thing they have to complete these characteristics. But in the trust fund, the owners are naming these people they want to benefit when they die, for example. Well, let's not
Right,
anticipate this time, but
right. So,
it's
right.
the way
Yeah,
it's a
yeah,
way
yeah.
to
Yeah,
inherit it.
yeah, to air it to your children, to your loved ones. So once you become an owner of the fraction, so in other words, now your child or family member could continue receiving the income from the investment, correct?
That's the way. And when you sell when you sell this fraction, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the final customer will not have to pay these structuration costs, but it's another fee that it's called derechos de cesión. It's like a transfer fee.
Right. Okay, that's good to know. And it would be less than the initial amount paid by the initial investor, right?
That's yeah.
Yeah, I know. Okay, okay. There's a bit of delay on the line. Okay.
Yes, I'm
And I
sorry
guess
about that.
my other question, got it. And Tanya, the logical question, and I want to kind of start wrapping up. But the logical question is, how do you guys make money? Um, I gather that you have your property management software, but that's a different arm. When it comes to this particular business model, how do you make money?
Well, we have two ways out of getting money out of our business model. The first is by the final sale of the property. We refurbish all the properties and we sell them at a market price, which will be, of course,
Makes sense.
growing throughout time. But this is the first time we have a profit out of our business. And through time, we, as managers of the properties, charge a management fee.
And I was asking you before. I know with if a client wanted to use if we were talking about a different investment, for example, in Playa del Carmen, we have a lot of short-term rentals, and we have management companies, short-term rental management companies, um, and they charge, let's say, 20 to 25%, sometimes as high as 30%. Is there How much do you guys charge, or how does that work for you
This
guys?
can vary depending on the location of the property, but let me say an average between 15 and 17% for operation management, and
So,
also
so let's.
the administration.
Okay, that's very competitive. That's on par what with even more competitive with what we can expect. And I assume that because the property, you guys administer the property, the shares, the whole property remains under your administration, and the clients agree to that. Like they're not gonna be able to say, "Oh, I'm gonna have my share administered by some other company." That would not work under this model. In other words, you guys remain the manager, the administrator of the property, correct?
Exactly. We at the beginning of the process, when our customers attach to the partnership, they sign the attachment agreement, but also the management contract, which names Rotamundos as the manager of the property, and mm, the final objective of this is to have order, and that any decision will be based on the expert side of Rotamundos and its company structure.
Okay. Okay, Tanya. Well, I think that's pretty much all the questions I have. I'm sure if anybody has any further questions, guys, I want to let you know. This is a company that I feel very comfortable with. I really like what they're doing. I think it's an innovative business model. It's a way to give ordinary people access to real estate investing without having to have large sums of money. I mean, it's all relative, but I think the fact that they even will allow a payment plan up to 24 months, it makes things more and more accessible for more and more people, whether you're a Canadian, American, a Mexican citizen, or even a citizen from somewhere else in the world. And you guys have heard me talk about, I think now more than ever is a good time to start considering diversifying internationally. I spoke to my fellow Canadians, Americans. This is an opportunity to essentially own a piece of Mexico real estate, for example, if you like the Mexico City opportunities in a very desirable location. Start getting potentially almost immediate cash flow. We're talking end of the year, uh, and essentially start diversifying internationally with a company that obviously they know what they're doing. They already have expansive experience with vacational rentals through the platform that they've been running across so many properties across the world. Um, I don't have that's all I have to say for now. Tanya, do you have any closing comments? And then I'm going to put my contact info. If anybody has further questions or is interested in learning more about this investment, please get in touch with me. I work with Tanya. We will help you guys together. Okay. Tanya, any final comments
Thank you,
before I let you
Leticia.
go?
We are very excited to have you in our team, and also we look forward for all to make your customers feel like home and with the best solution. So I will just ask a final question. Are you ready to leave off your rents? So we are ready for having you at home.
Wonderful, wonderful, Tanya. I love it. Thank you so much for coming and doing this interview with me and opening people's minds to the possibility of this innovative way to invest in essentially international real estate. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much, Tanya, once again. And everyone, I'm going to put my contact info on the screen. Email is an easy way to reach me. My WhatsApp info is also there. Feel free to take a screenshot, take a picture, and feel free to reach out to me. And Tanya and myself will be very happy to help you. Okay. Thanks everyone for watching. Hasta la vista. Hasta pronto. See you soon.
Bye. Thank you
Bye,
very much for
everyone.
the
Bye
invite.
bye. My pleasure. Bye.